Chapter
MK
181, Another Nourishing Meal. He gently said, "Let's go, we can head back now." "All right." Yun-han replied with a smile. A few minutes later, they returned to the wild banana grove near the ravine, and so Phong cut some banana bark to make cloth. Yun-han looked at the basket filled with bananas, delighted. "Ah, I am getting used to these bananas. After leaving them for 2 days, they will be ready to eat." Yun-han frowned slightly and quickly said, "Let me help you carry some." "No need, banana leaves are light." So Phong smiled and refused, holding the leaves in both arms as he walked ahead. "Really, still showing off." Yun-han pouted and chased after him. They walked back along the same path, this time taking half an hour to return to the camp. So Phong placed the banana leaves beside the stone wall and looked up at the new shelter. "Do you plan to start building the roof today?" Yun-han helped him take off the basket, which still contained many bananas, a bunch of more than 20 small wild bananas. "All right, then I will cook lunch." Yun-han obediently nodded and turned toward the shelter. "Today let me cook lunch." So Phong called her back. "Ah?" Yun-han stopped, surprised. "You are cooking lunch?" "Yes, today I will cook." So Phong smiled lightly, tapped her forehead, and said half-jokingly, "Is that so surprising?" He wanted to make a nourishing soup, but he could not tell her yet, especially with the camera watching. "So you are stealing my job?" Yun-han teased. "Then you can rest a while." So Phong chuckled. "No, if you cook, what will I do?" Yun-han pouted unhappily. "All right, you can wash and dry the black fungus, and also dry the chicken mushrooms, so they can be stored longer." So Phong pointed at the basket of mushrooms. "Okay." Yun-han was startled, then nodded. In the wilderness, they cooperated well. The girl with less strength handled lighter work. Haze. So Phong sighed softly and entered the shelter. He quickly lit the fire and boiled water, then added the tougher ingredients first, following the recipe step by step. After more than 10 minutes, the soup turned green, filled with herbs and wild vegetables. He stirred with a bamboo spoon, this time with many chicken mushrooms and black fungus, and a light fragrance spread out. "It smells so good." Yun-han shook water off her hands, drawn by the fragrance. "Not much, but enough to eat." So Phong smiled. All the ingredients were in, now it just needed slow cooking. "So Phong, is this not the same wild vegetable soup I tasted when I had a cold?" Yun-han sniffed, her eyes lighting up. She remembered clearly the soup from that day. "Your nose is sharp, almost like a hound." So Phong laughed, poured a bit of salt from a bamboo tube, stirred again, and said, "It is ready." Yun-han took the clay bowl with both hands, sipped a small mouthful, her eyes shining, delicious, like chicken soup. "Then eat more." So Phong gently tucked a loose strand of her hair behind her ear. "You eat too." Yun-han shyly urged. "All right." So Phong lifted his bowl and began eating. The first sip warmed his stomach at once. In half an hour, they finished the large pot of nourishing soup. "So full, it feels even fuller than eating meat." Yun-han sighed and rubbed her slightly raised belly. "Then rest for a while." So Phong picked up the axe from the basket and said, "I will chop some wood for the roof beams." "Do not go far, be careful." Yun-han nodded. "I know." So Phong replied seriously, carrying the axe into the forest. He walked more than 10 minutes and reached the northern woods, where tall trees stood straight. He spent over 2 hours cutting 7 eucalyptus trees about 7 or 8 meters tall, trimmed the branches, and dragged them back. Moving 7 logs took him nearly an hour to bring them all to camp. Hearing the noise, Yun-han came out and asked, "So Phong, are these for the roof beams?" "Yes, these will be the main beams." So Phong gasped, sitting down on a log. "I will make some mint water for you." Yun-han went inside, then brought out a bowl. She handed it to him and gently pressed his shoulder. "Who?" So Phong drank big gulps of mint water, the fatigue eased, partly thanks to the nourishing soup. After more than 10 minutes, he stood again. All right, I will cut more trees. I will go with you. Yunhan followed. Okay. This time he aimed for pine trees, not too long, lighter than eucalyptus, so the girl could help carry them. Yunhan said softly, first pick some pine needles, we do not have much left. She often used pine needles for washing hair and making tea, so they ran out quickly. Sure. So Phong nodded with a smile. She gathered pine needles, while he cut trees and trimmed branches. The sunlight was less harsh, and time passed quickly. Near sunset, he had cut enough logs. They spent nearly an hour and, before dark, brought all the wood back to camp. It took longer than I thought. So Phong sighed. With all the wood ready, tomorrow they could build the frame, and in a few days, move into their new shelter. Chapter 182, That would be awkward. Chirp, chirp. Birdsong echoes through the forest. So Phong and Van Han brushed their teeth by the water gully. So Phong, what do you want for breakfast? Van Han speaks muffledly while brushing. After rinsing, So Phong answers calmly. Let us grill some honeyed meat, it has been a while since we had barbecue. All right, I will cook a bowl of wild green soup, we will eat that this morning. Van Han nods and rinses with a ceramic cup. Washed up, So Phong stands before the new hideout, staring at the dark stone wall, and pictures a roof frame. Okay, do not overcomplicate it. He decides on an A-frame roof for simplicity and to avoid puddles on rainy days. He grabs the entrenching shovel and ducks into the new shelter. The stone doorway is about 1.5 meters high, while he is around 1.78 meters, so each entry he must turn and stoop. Dong, dong, dong. He taps the floor in the corner, breaks the hard ceramic-like crust, and digs holes. After more than half an hour, he has a hole between two facing walls and another at the center. A hardtop layer alone cost much time. These pits will seat the posts that hold the roof beam. Done. He dusts off his hands. He washes up and returns, looks at the iron pot and ceramic set on the wooden table, and takes a deep breath. If the head matron were here, she would scold you for not using chopsticks. Van Han smiles and hands him a pair. As kids at the orphanage, they sometimes grabbed food by hand and got reminded often. That is because your barbecue is too good. So Phong smiles, chewing meat. And you still blame me for that. Van Han rolls her eyes, yet her face beams. Chatting happily, they finish breakfast, the girl tidies the table, and So Phong goes out to build the roof frame. He carries 3 thigh-thick logs to the doorway, then carves a notch on one face of each with a splitting knife. Using the wooden table as a step, he climbs to the top of the stone wall. Be careful, So Phong. Van Han calls from below, worried he might slip. I know, pass me the pine. He grins, crouches a little, and reaches down. Okay. She answers and raises a pine log upright. He grips it, slowly pulls it up, and ties it with rope into the carved seat on the post. Another half hour passes as he braces 3 posts with pine to prevent twisting and keep the frame stable. Movement on the walltop is awkward, so every action is slow and time-consuming. Whew. He exhales, climbs down, and brushes off wood splinters. Good, I will make a ladder as well. He takes a clay cup and sips pine leaf tea. A ladder is simple, he will make a ring-shaped ladder that is sturdy and practical. Following the ring angle, he binds one end of 2 ladder rails together, forming a ring shape. For more strength, he adds 2 crossing struts at the ring joint, tying into the 4 pine members to form a triangle. The triangle is the most stable form, used in many structures, like the Eiffel Tower and the pyramids. He works on, steps onto the ladder, and with the girl's help lifts eucalyptus trunks onto the roof, slotting ends into wall sockets. Time flies, the afternoon turns mild, shadows shift, it is around 5 o'clock. He fastens the final eucalyptus to the frame, so the main frame is nearly complete. Next he will lay pine laths in a fishbone pattern across the eucalyptus to support the roofing materials. We should finish before dark. He says softly, there is still more than 1 hour until dusk. He wants a solid house so ocean winds will not rip the roof away, otherwise it would be truly awkward. Do not rush, we can continue tomorrow. Van Hans says gently. They have worked all day with little rest, and she senses his impatience. If we are idle, we might as well finish first and rest after. He smiles. Food is not a worry for now, but sitting idle is dull, better to improve living quality. Building a larger, sturdier shelter raises comfort and safety. In the wild only the diligent endure, the lazy are soon eliminated. After a short rest he climbs. Again, adjusts the frame, and ties each pine lath with rope. Let me secure this end, so Phong. Van Han calls from a wooden table by the wall. She can just reach the edge of the timber, since she is not very tall. All right, watch your footing and do not slip. He reminds her with a faint smile, the girl is thoughtful and always helps within her ability. Okay. Van Han giggles, focused on tying the rope around the pine. The two bustle indoors, long-time viewers marvel as the barrage of comments rolls on. This little lowly is so diligent, much more than those girls next door. Those students only eat and act coy, they cannot compare. I will stay over for one night, not for the little lowly, just to stay, of course. As if, you old rascal. I wonder how So Phong will roof it so it will not leak. Maybe he will even fire tiles, with his hands he just might. Ahem. Chapter 183, Moving. In the camp, Tran Chi Hai and the others sat around the fire, warming themselves and chatting. I say, this place of yours is not good at all, so many days have passed and we only ate meat twice. Zhao Lei complained with a curl of his lips. Since they had cooperated, every day they went out together to find food, yet the harvest was pitiful, just some wild greens and mushrooms, with luck catching one or two lizards. Tran Chi Hai pressed his lips and said coldly. This is only the beginning, we will find animals to hunt. You said the same 2 days ago, but we ate wild greens again and even the palm hearts are almost gone. Zhao Lei glared, holding the last remaining stalk. The black bear only twitched his mouth silently. Palm hearts had once been plentiful, but since Zhao Lei and Zhao Loi came, the supply quickly diminished. Tomorrow we should go further, maybe we will find food. Tran Chi Hai felt a headache, beginning to doubt the choice of cooperation. At first he thought 4 people searching would have a greater chance, yet this place had nothing, even wild greens and mushrooms were scarce. We already explored nearby, going farther means not enough time to return by day. Zhao Loi said deeply. These days they always explored, only returning late at night to their hideout. The wilderness at night was dangerous, exploration had to be done by day. The forest path was rough, with poisonous snakes and insects hidden in the grass. One day of walking covered little distance. He felt it was time to move on, they could not stay in one place, survival would be too hard. Animals in the wild also kept moving to find grasslands to live. The black bear opened his mouth but chose silence. Move again? We just settled, now we have to go? Zhao Lei asked in shock. Are we here to survive or to move house? Zhao Loi frowned. This place has no more resources, to eat meat we must go where resources are richer. Tran Chi Hai said calmly. Zhao Loi stared firmly. Where to? How do you know we will find meat? Books. Anywhere is better than waiting here. Tran Chi Hai said coldly. Days without meat made him irritable, almost forgetting the taste. Zhao Lei and Zhao Loi fell silent, still hesitant to leave the landing point. If we stay here, living on greens and mushrooms, maybe 1 month at most, no longer. The black bear said plainly. Tran Chi Hai smiled slightly, retreating to advance. You may stay, we will move. He had decided, tomorrow morning he would leave to seek a richer place. Zhao Lei and Zhao Loi exchanged glances. Fine, let's move together, since we chose to cooperate we must share hardships. Zhao Loi said with righteousness. Yes, more people means more chance to survive. Zhao Lei nodded. They were unwilling to give up cooperation, though they lacked meat, life was still easier than before, perhaps another place would be better. So where will we go? Zhao Loi licked his lips, glancing at the palm stalk in his brother's hand, still hungry. Tran Shihai said nothing, turning to the black bear. Go east, the land there is lower, there may be water. The black bear thought aloud. He was once a special forces soldier, his survival knowledge exceeded theirs. To live long in the wild, water was most vital. With water the chance of food was much greater, as all animals must drink. Then east it is. Tran Shihai lifted the corner of his mouth, black eyes glinting. With water, they might even find another team and perhaps borrow food. In the monitoring room, Ha Min and the others watched the four on the screen. They want to move again, never peaceful. So Feng and the little girl are also east, though still some distance, maybe they will meet. Silence fell. Given their situation, moving is the best choice. Wang Lin said calmly. In his place, he too would move, seeking a better place. Wu Tingyu showed sympathy. Compared with So Feng and the girl, they are miserable. Wang Lin pressed his lips, restraining his words. So Feng and Hanin could not be compared. At the very start they crafted toothbrushes, soap, and strange things. Chapter 184, Then I Will Teach You. We can eat a bit late. Yunhan placed the iron pot on the wooden table, swiftly setting out bowls and chopsticks. Right away. Su Feng replied softly, still rubbing the soaked banana bark in the jar. She had put it to soak in the morning, planning to weave fiber for clothes. Eat soon, it won't taste good when cold. Yunhan urged gently. I am coming. Su Feng smiled, flicked water from his hand, and sat on the wooden chair. They sat down, with steaming venison stew, seaweed soup with half a fish and fresh shellfish, and a small dish of wild strawberry sauce. In a few days let's collect more shellfish to dry, for winter food. Yunhan said while chewing. Yes, and bring back some bamboo. If only we had staple food. Yunhan looked at the venison, thinking of rice or noodles. Staple food. Su Feng murmured, searching his mind. After a while, he said, once the shelter is built, we will explore farther, maybe find plants for staple food. He already had an idea, if they found certain plants, they would have staples. All right. Yunhan smiled. Yunhan, let me teach you archery. Su Feng looked at the bow hanging at the door. Do you want to learn? He thought she needed training after nourishment, or her body would not grow stronger. Food and strengthening medicine were different, one gradual, one fast. He also wanted her to learn archery, a skill for self-defense. Her eyes lit up, she answered excitedly, Great. Then I will teach you. Su Feng smiled, glad she wanted to learn. He picked up a flat wooden board, drew circles with charcoal, and hung it on thorn bushes about 5 meters away. Watch closely, I will show the stance. He smiled, raised the bow, and aimed. Whoosh! Yunhan's face turned red. Watching him, she praised, Su Feng, you look so strong now. He flicked his hair arrogantly, the cooler part is still ahead. Since when are you this skilled? Yunhan asked in awe. He grinned, I have always been this good. Yunhan rolled her eyes, give you some charm and you get arrogant. All right, you try. He stopped teasing. Yunhan took the bow, tried to pull, but only moved it slightly, surprised, so hard, I can only pull this far. Practice more and you will manage. He encouraged. Is my stance correct? Yunhan asked. When drawing, mind the 3 balances. Straighten your wrist, lower your back hand. He adjusted her pose. The 3 balances meant wrist, elbow, and shoulder aligned. Like this? Yunhan bit her lip, hands trembling from holding the bow. Yes, hold breath before releasing. He explained softly. Draw steady, aim, hold breath, then shoot. To hit accurately needed practice, steady as a mountain. She followed, aimed at the board, held breath, released. Whoosh! Whoosh whoosh whoosh. She fired over 10 arrows, only one hit the edge. She shook her wrist, pouting, accuracy is too poor, only one hit. Follow me, with practice you will hit easily. Su Feng held her hand, massaged her wrist, gently said, rest a bit, then continue. Okay. She blushed, letting him massage. After 15 minutes. Again. Yun Han said eagerly. She raised the bow, remembered his words, kept balance, aimed. Whoosh. The arrow hit the upper edge of the board, first shot landed. You progress fast. Su Feng praised. He knew if she had more strength it would hit center, but her force was small. Hee, I think I got it, just weak. Yun Han laughed, shaking her wrist. Already great. Su Feng said gently, that's enough for today, continue tomorrow. Books. I want to train more. She said, continuing. On screen, comments poured. Little Loli is amazing, so accurate so soon. Nothing special, I can at close range too. She is only 16, but you look 40 in your photo. I guess he is from Dunhuang. Impressive, cursing without vulgar words. Seniors, what do those words mean? I don't get it. Dunhuang girls are many, experience them yourself. Chapter 185, well done. The phrase why are you like this AKO actually comes from the drama Balala the Fairies, where Prince Noah mispronounced words, so netizens mocked it. It was nicknamed Magic Fairy Castle in dialect, spread widely, and spawned many funny variations like Want You Fruit, Rain Girl No Melon. In the early morning, sunlight streamed through the bamboo grove. After one day under the blazing sun, the mango slices were half dried. Another day of sun and they will be ready. Luai Thursday bent down, flipping the slices, and coldly said, those two annoying guys did not come yesterday? Luai Meng chewed a slice and mumbled, better that they did not come, less annoyance. You keep eating, soon nothing will be left. Luai Thursday scolded. No, there is still plenty. Luai Meng grinned, swallowed, then stuffed another piece. You ate another, I saw it. Luai Thursday narrowed her eyes. Ah? No, not at all. Luai Meng covered her mouth and shook her head. Hands down. Luai Thursday ordered. MHM. Luai Meng released her hands but her cheeks were bulging. Open your mouth. Luai Thursday twitched her lips. Good morning, beauties. Suddenly, a voice rang out. Li Huan and Zhang Zhenhua appeared again. Why are you here again? Luai Thursday frowned. MHM. Luai Meng swallowed quickly and snapped, do not disturb us. We want to cooperate with you. Zhang Zhenhua smiled, then gasped, we have a bamboo rat. Ah? How do you have so many mangoes? Li Huan widened his eyes, smelling the fragrance. Luai Meng suddenly blurted a meme, Rain you no melon, want you fruit. Zhang Zhenhua was baffled. The audience burst out laughing and flooded comments. Haha, I am dying of laughter. Yes, Rain you no melon, want you fruit. Haha, Luai Meng, you are such an AKO. Sorry, I do not understand. If you do not, repeat after me, Balala energy, otaku card. Li Huan trembled, almost laughing, pinched his thigh to stop. Luai Thursday also tried to suppress her laughter. Cough. Yes, good things should be shared. Li Huan nodded. Then share half of your bamboo forest. Luai Thursday sneered. Cough, maybe exchange our bamboo rat for your mangoes. Zhang Zhenhua lifted a small bamboo rat, the size of half a kettle. Yes, bamboo rat for mangoes, fair deal. Li Huan agreed. Why are you like this AKO? Shameless. Luai Meng glared, holding her bow. Before them lay 3/4 of a basket full of dried mangoes. You think we are fools? Luai Thursday's face darkened. The viewers also complained. These two are disgusting, one small rat for a basket of mangoes? I think it is fine, rat meat is worth more than mango. Zhang Zhenhua awkwardly lowered the rat. Li Huan rolled his eyes, then smiled. How about this, you tell us where the mango tree is, we trade the rat. No way, you just die. Sister, let me finish. Lu Weimeng shouted, but Lu Wai Thursday covered her mouth. Lu Wai Thursday forced a smile and said, deal, but give us the rat first. Li Huan and Zhang Zhenhua glanced, nodded. They had many rats, 7 or 8, food was no problem. All right, I trust the beauties. Zhang Zhenhua handed over the rat. Go, let us pick mangoes. He dragged Li Huan away, grinning. Watching them go, Lu Wai Thursday smiled stiffly, clearly satisfied. Sister, well done. Lu Weimeng cheered, raising her hand for a high five. Clap. Do you think they will come back angry after finding no mangoes? Lu Weimeng giggled. Why would they? They said rat for location, I never said what tree. Lu Wai Thursday replied calmly. You are asking for trouble. Lu Wai Thursday rolled her eyes. Go now. She waved, looked down at the rat, and whispered, today we have meat again, who thought we could still eat bamboo rat? I will boil water, prepare it. Lu Weimeng hurried off. The audience laughed again. Haha, I want to see their faces at the empty tree. Yes, let us go. I just say, well done. Chapter 186, Rotten Flower Lips. So Phong and Van Han sat by the stream, brushing teeth and rinsing mouths. Van Han spat out water, opened her mouth wide and asked, So Phong, are my teeth clean, are they white? No NGO. So Phong puffed his cheeks, leaned close to check her teeth, then spat water and smiled, very white and clean. That is good then. Van Han smiled gently, turned to carry the wash tools back to the shelter. In the wild, besides food and warmth, oral hygiene was vital, especially for a girl. Neglect could cause bad breath. So Phong finished washing, took the toothbrush back to the shelter. The girl was already preparing breakfast. Today they planned to go out, cut dry grass and bring back clay, preparing to build the roof. So Phong, this morning should we eat pork or venison? There is also fish and sausage. Van Han lit the fire. Water in the iron pot had not boiled, bubbles formed at the bottom. Anything is fine. So Phong smiled, leaving the choice to her, since they would eat it anyway. Then pork it is. Van Han hummed lightly, singing while cooking. Then I will cut some weeds around here. So Phong took the hatchet, ready to leave. All right, be careful. Van Han reminded. I know. So Phong smiled, pushed through the bushes and entered the forest. This place seems new. He looked around. Behind the trees was a pile of rocks. He cut a branch, tapped the bushes to check for snakes. Ah, here are rotten flower lips. His eyes lit, he moved closer. Before him were 7 or 8 shrubs, each taller than 2 meters, with many green branches, full of leaves. The leaves were like wolfberry leaves, but with serrated edges and larger blades. Good stuff, today we can try something new. He smiled, cut young branches. Soon he had a large bundle. That should be enough. He tied them, then cut dry grass. After half an hour, he carried the bundle of grass and rotten flower lips back. Whoo! The girl released the bamboo arrow, it fell to the ground. Still a bit off, try again. She muttered, then saw So Phong, smiled, you are back, wash your hands and eat. All right. So Phong smiled, set the grass aside, washed hands with the plant. Is that rotten flower lips? She asked uncertain. Yes, we can make mung cake at noon. He smiled. At the orphanage, the director used these leaves to make mung cakes for the children they once watched. Great, since leaving the orphanage, I never had it again. Her eyes lit with joy. Eat breakfast first, then we cook. He shook water from his hands, smiling, he too had missed it. I remember we need ash water, I will prepare it. She ran excitedly into the shelter. Ash water must settle before use. Let it settle, eat first. He urged with a smile, she truly missed the cakes. Okay. She answered, set the jar by the hut, sat to eat with him. After 20 minutes, finished eating, she stood to wash the pot. In the live room, people chatted. What is So Phong doing? They said using leaves to make mung cake, strange. Mung cake? In the wild? Those are rotten flower lips leaves, in my hometown we use them. I prepared ingredients, if he succeeds, I will try. I will boil water first. Van Han carried half a pot of clear water, hung it to boil. Clatter clatter. The water boiled, so Phong poured it into the jar with leaves. Hot water made leaves soften. Start stirring. Van Han eagerly stirred with a wooden stick, soon the leaves broke down. After several minutes, the green leaves were crushed, the water turned dark green and thick. Now filter it. So Phong took a bamboo tube with cloth as filter. Let me. Van Han received it, scooped thick liquid, poured into the tube, filtered into another jar, the residue stayed. After filtering, the liquid became thinner, residue trapped in cloth. Chapter 187, Mung Bean Jelly. She stood up holding the prepared ash water, carefully poured the clear layer into the clay jar, then stirred it with a bamboo spoon. All right, let it set for a few hours. Van Han dusted her hands, smiling at her work. In the city, it would only take about an hour in a fridge, but in the wild they had to wait for it to cool naturally, until the mung bean jelly was formed. The mung bean jelly was green, refreshing, and all parts of the plant could be used medicinally. Seal the jar and put it in the stream, it will set faster. So Phong suggested. Back at the Tam Tam Ba hostel, they often cooled porridge this way. Right, why didn't I think of that? Her eyes lit up, she covered the jar with a ceramic lid, tied it tightly with rope. She carried it to the stream and gently lowered it, water reaching 2/3 of the jar. Wiping sweat, she said, So Phong, let's cut some grass. You are drenched in sweat, rest a while, I will weave you a straw hat. So Phong chuckled. After more than 22 days outdoors, their skin had tanned. The girl, once fair, now looked rugged but beautiful. All right. So Phong hesitated, then nodded. They carried bamboo baskets filled with water and tools in hand. After 15 minutes they reached a small stream by the waterfall, where weeds grew high enough to cover the roof. Van Han, remember to shake off the grass when you cut it. So Phong warned, as venomous insects might hide there. She cut the grass, while he dug clay. Call me if you need. He reminded, then went to the bank to dig. I know. She pouted playfully. He watched briefly before focusing on shoveling clay. They needed more than 10 loads for the roof. He planned to finish the roof in 2 days, then lay pipes and finish a toilet, so the shelter would be livable. Time passed unnoticed as they worked. By early afternoon, they had hauled the last load. She had helped him carry, so it was faster. Back in the hut, they rested. He added water to the iron pot, then asked, Do you want the wild vegetable soup from yesterday? Yes. She nodded without hesitation. Good, I will check the jelly. She left, heading to the stream. She lifted the jar, untied it, and peeked inside. The liquid had set, still a bit elastic. I wonder how it tastes. She murmured, carrying it back. In the hut, So Phong was adding herbs and greens, the pot already fragrant. So Phong, the jelly is ready. She smiled. It's set well? He asked. Completely, but not sure about the taste, we can try with wild berry syrup. She set it down. The green jelly, topped with red berry syrup, looked delicious. All right. She drizzled honey on it, licking her lips, it already looks tasty. Mine is almost ready. He smiled, adding chicken mushrooms. The broth boiled, spreading aroma. After a few minutes, he served her a big bowl. Hoo hoo hoo. She blew to cool it, sipped, and praised, still so good. Let me try the jelly. He ate a piece with honey and syrup, eyes lighting. It is very nice, sweet and tangy. Really, let me try. She eagerly tasted, smiling in delight, such a nostalgic flavor. He added, better than the one from the old headmistress. No way, I am far behind her. She blushed, pouting. While eating, she asked, where can we find the plant, so we can make more later? Behind the forest, in the rocks, we can gather some. He replied softly. Chapter 188, Let me cut your hair. The two arrived at the new shelter, the ground piled with small clay mounds, with bundles of dry grass and stacked banana leaves beside them. Sua Phong, what should we do now? Yun Han asked softly. These banana leaves must be clamped with 2 bamboo sticks, only then can they be spread over the roof. Sua Phong instructed in a low voice. Banana leaves are excellent waterproof material, even when dry they do not rot, they can last for months without problems. Let me help. Yun Han raised her small hand and spoke. I will carve the bamboo sticks, you clamp the leaves. Sua Phong said while holding the chopping knife. Leave it to me. Yun Han answered firmly. Crack crack. Sua Phong carved the bamboo. This task did not require precision, and soon enough he had prepared enough to clamp the leaves. They placed banana leaves between the sticks, finishing the work swiftly in just half an hour. Next, let us work the clay. Sua Phong smiled. He took off his shoes, untied the hay, sprinkled it evenly on the clay, then stepped barefoot to knead it, pressing the hay deep inside. Mixing hay into clay increases tensile strength, just like steel in concrete, using plant fibers to reinforce. This makes the wall stronger, resistant to rain, similar to how roots hold soil. It looks fun. Yun Han laughed, also removing her shoes to join him. Squish, squish. Their feet on the mud made strange sounds. After more than half an hour, Yun Han no longer laughed, her face strained as she repeated the tiring stomping. Lift the foot, stomp down. Sua Phong looked at her pursed lips and smiled softly. Rest for a while, this is enough for now. Half the clay was mixed with hay, ready to cover the roof. I will help carry the materials. Yun Han stepped, scraping mud from her feet on the hay. All right. Sua Phong nodded, carrying banana leaves up the ladder. The roof required 3 layers, the bottom sealed with leaves to block gaps, the final protection against water. For the 3rd layer, Sua Phong planned to spread thick hay, forming the last waterproof barrier, thick enough so water would not seep through, with excess absorbed by clay. This method resembled rural houses, using hay and clay for the roof. Night fell, the air grew colder. Sua Phong stood on the stone wall, holding a rope tied to a bamboo basket below. Yun Han bent down, shoveling clay into the basket until full. Done. She called out. Good. Sua Phong pulled slowly, lifting the basket to the roof. He tied banana leaves to the frame, then plastered clay over them. Soon the clay was used up. He threw the basket down. Yun Han, empty. All right. She replied, filling it again. She looked up at him on the roof, while stomping hay into the clay. In 2 days we can live in the new house. She smiled. She loved the new shelter, wide, strong stone walls giving safety unlike leaf huts. As the sun faded, half the roof was already covered. Sua Phong leaned on the frame, stood up and sighed. Tomorrow, another day of work will finish it. The sun had set, dusk vanished. Yun Han decided to bathe tonight, washing all with soap. Got it. Sua Phong replied, climbing down the ladder. Tomorrow with 1 more day it will be complete? Yun Han looked up at the roof. The new house would reduce the wild's unease, at least they could eat and sleep safely. He believed soon they would also have warm clothes. You are covered in mud, bathe first. Sua Phong smeared clay on her face, drawing whiskers. Suo Phong, you are awful. Yunhan shouted, also smearing him. Little cat, you cannot catch me. Suo Phong laughed and ran into the shelter. Disgusting, do not run. Yunhan cried. After playing, they returned inside. With a muddy face like a spotted cat, she lit a fire to heat water. Suo Phong peeled clay off his face, remnants of her prank. Suo Phong. Yunhan called. What is it? He asked. Yunhan said softly, your hair is full of mud, let me wash it. All right. Suo Phong smiled. I think it is time to cut it, too long now. She tilted her head. It is a bit long. Suo Phong brushed strands down to his nose. Before entering the wild it was already long, now it grew unchecked. Then tonight I will cut it and wash your hair. Yunhan smiled, holding the chopping knife. Chapter 189, I will be very gentle. What are you avoiding? This is not the first time I help cut your hair. Yunhan pursed her lips angrily. Eh? Su Feng's eyes twitched, he spoke awkwardly. That may be true, but before we only used scissors, this time with a hatchet is the first. Yunhan swung the hatchet playfully, smiling. Do not worry, there will be a second time, even a third. I think long hair is actually good. Su Feng scratched his head seriously. It keeps me warm when cold, maybe we should not cut it? Long hair does not suit you, the heat makes it uncomfortable, and washing it wastes soap. Yunhan listed the flaws, counting with her fingers. Su Feng's mouth twitched, eyes rolling. Are you complaining? He thought she was mocking his long hair, maybe because he once said he liked straight long-haired girls. Not at all. Her eyes sparkled with a smile. Su Feng sighed, pressed his lips. Then go cut it. She stood behind him, grabbed a bunch of hair, raised the hatchet and made a few motions. I will start, do not move. Yunhan spoke softly, stroking his hair, cutting slowly at the right angle. Su Feng felt his hair sway with the blade, scalp tightening. Does it hurt? Yunhan asked with care. Oh. She suddenly stopped, glanced at the iron pot on the fire, spoke excitedly. I have an idea, what if I heat the charcoal red to cut your metal hair? But with charcoal, only small strands could be cut at once, otherwise the hair would catch fire, extremely dangerous, burning the whole head. Forget it then. Yunhan stuck out her tongue playfully, resumed cutting seriously. Su Feng sat on the wooden chair, his head swayed with each cut, face showing helplessness. Seeing his moving head, Yunhan thought aloud. Su Feng, you hold the roots, I hold the ends, that way it will not hurt your scalp and it will be faster. Because if she did alone, the pull focused on his scalp, very painful. All right. He held the roots near his forehead. Cut this part shorter. Yunhan murmured while cutting carefully. Time passed, hair fell more and more. Half an hour later, she stopped, his hair once reaching his nose now short and upright, looking energetic. At that moment, the observers saw the scene. I think it looks good, much brighter. Wu Qingyue said seriously, though her shoulders shook, making it more convincing. Cough cough, the skill is not bad. Wang Lin coughed, face strange. Qi Whiting pursed her lips, watching the screen. Su Feng's hair looked like chewed by a dog, yet her eyes held a smile. Viewers burst into wild comments. Honestly, as long as it is the lowly cutting, I accept. I do not care, the lowly cutting hair is the cutest. Truly, her skill is good, using a hatchet and still managing this is impressive. Makes me think of hair salons, yet she is like a rising stylist. I want to invite the lowly for a useless soft cutting surgery. Su Feng scratched his head, the longest strands barely finger length. I hope it is fine. He muttered bitterly, with no mirror in the wild, he could not know his look. The water is ready, I will wash your hair. Yunhan carried a wooden bucket, poured boiled pine water, added some cold water to adjust. Su Feng obediently squatted, bowed his head waiting. Close your eyes, I will pour. Yun Han lifted a bamboo tube, doused his short hair quickly. She scooped soap into her hands, spread it evenly, small hands massaging his scalp, pressing on acupoints. She learned these techniques online. Pressing the points relaxed the body. Su Feng closed his eyes, enjoying. Every wash from her was careful, far better than his own, truly a pleasure. Minutes passed. All right, rinsing now. Yun Han warned, poured water while rubbing to remove foam. Hoo. Su Feng dried his hair, poked his ears to clear water, sighed contentedly. Comfortable. Go bathe now. Yun Han handed him clean clothes and underwear. All right. He took them, then placed hot stones from the fire into the engineer shovel. After some minutes, he finished bathing. She too had washed her hair, now drying. You should bathe too. He smiled, urging. Watching her, he pondered, then took a wooden stick, sat on the chair, carving with the hatchet. Chapter 190, Could it be too big? Crack, crack, crack. Wood chips fell from the axe as the log grew thinner, until Su Feng carved out a shape. Hoo. He blew off the dust, gazing at the finished piece, a wooden hairpin. The hairpin was about 15 centimeters long, as thick as a finger, one end sharp and smooth, the other rounded like a bead. That should do. Su Feng stroked it, brushing off fibers. Van Han came after bathing, curious. Su Feng, what are you holding? A hairpin, I made it for you. He smiled, handing it over. Oh, let me see. She took it, examined it with joy. For now it can only be this simple, use it for now. He chuckled. She blushed, laughed softly, I like it very much. His lips curved, he said gently, try it on, see if it is too big. All right. Looks beautiful. He nodded. Then I will use this from now on. She set aside the bamboo stick. At night the wind blew cold, wet hair could cause sickness. I will make dinner. She blushed, lifted her hair, went to cook. They had not eaten yet. He smiled, carved bamboo, planning to weave a hat. After half an hour she finished dinner, while he barely shaped a simple hat. Su Feng, come eat first. She laid the bowls, filled one with hot stew for him. Su Feng, did you forget something? She glanced at the water jar. Ah, fine, I will wash my hands. He stood embarrassed, rinsed his hands. They ate dinner, wild greens stewed with boar meat, plus a salad in dried skin. Eat more, you look thinner lately. He chewed meat, gazing at her. I am fatter already, do you want me like a pig? She rolled eyes, noticing her weight. Recently meals always had meat, she feared gaining more. He smiled lightly, a little plump is better, softer to hold than bones. I must say you cook deliciously. He grinned, ate bean cake. Then eat more. She flushed, retorted. She glanced at her chest, bit lips, ate meat. He found a dried coconut shell used before for storage. He arranged bamboo like rays, crossing and pressing. He fixed with sticks, inserted new ones, using the coconut as mold. Hats came in two types, pointed or round top. He chose round, with wide brim for sun and rain. She returned after cleaning, sat watching his skilled hands. Her eyes sparkled, she asked, Su Feng, did you learn from old Wang? That guard at the orphanage often wove hats, sold them for meat. In old times elders learned many crafts to survive. Let me help. She pressed bamboo, mimicked him, weaving. She already knew how to weave baskets, so hats were similar. Be careful, do not cut your hand. He warned. Got it. She replied, eager to try. Together they finished the crown, then the brim. After 20 minutes he bent leftover strips, finishing the first frame. He made a 2-layer hat, middle lined with waterproof leaves. Following the same process they completed the second frame. What will we use for waterproof layer? We lack bamboo leaves. She asked. Hats usually used bamboo leaves, but none here. Use banana leaves, they will not rot. He thought. I will fetch some. She went out, soon returned with wilted leaves dried by sun. Chapter 191, The Bed-Warming Girl. He split 2 more bamboo strips, fixing them inside the hat's brim, making it hold the banana leaves in place. So Phong raised the second frame of the wide-brimmed hat, set it atop the first layer of leaves, and clamped it between the bamboo strips. Then he tore bark into finger-wide strands, threaded them through the gaps to secure both layers, sealing the edges neatly. He found 2 hemp ropes, tied them to the brim's side as chin straps, and the hat was finished. Round, about 50 centimeters across, with bamboo slats forming diamond mesh outside. Viewers watching live grew noisy, comments flooding in with fear and admiration for his skillful hands. Same hands, why can't I do it? My wristwatch only shows time. Others have hands, mine must be claws. This reminds me of my grandpa, he could weave too. I just use keyboards, now I want to smash mine. Try it on, see if it fits. So Phong placed the hat on the girl's head. It fits, only a bit heavy, but still fine. Van Han held the straps, shook her head, the hat wobbled but stayed. The bamboo was still damp, it would dry and get lighter. Yes, once used to it, it feels fine. He said softly, pleased with his work. Make another, you can wear one too. Van Han urged gently. He smiled, waving off, no need, I prefer my skin darker. Van Han frowned then laughed, then you will truly become a wild man. Have you seen a wild man weave hats? He retorted. He, then now there is one. She covered her mouth, laughing. They bantered playfully. After a while, she practiced archery. Her accuracy rose, from 1 or 2 hits out of 10, to 3 or 4. Meanwhile, So Phong worked the bamboo, hollowing its joints for tomorrow's water pipes. With prior practice, he finished quickly. All right, time for you to sleep. He told her, as she had trained long enough. She washed, brushed, and slipped into her sleeping bag. So Phong, you are not sleeping yet? Van Han peeked. You go ahead, I'll finish some work. He answered tenderly. Then sleep early. She said, pulling back in. Outside, the bonfire warding beasts was nearly out, only faint flames swing in the cold wind. Seeing no danger, he went to the new shelter. This place also needs a fence. He murmured. At the rock wall, he gathered fallen eucalyptus bark, tied it, and dragged it back. Near the thorn barrier, glowing eyes appeared behind a rock, watching him. Viewers stirred, seeing it clear by drone. It is that red wolf again, stalking them. I'm nervous, will it attack? You again? So Phong frowned, gripping his axe, thinking it was the same wolf. The eyes fixed on him, then vanished, perhaps wary of the torch. He stayed alert. When nothing changed, he retreated inside, braced the door with wood. He decided next time, he would bring Bao and kill it. Sitting on a wooden stool, he handled the bark, preparing to make paper later. He scraped away blemishes, cleaning it neatly. Time passed slowly. Ha! He yawned, set the axe down, stretched. Before him lay a clean pile of bark. He washed, brushed, and carefully slid into the sleeping bag. The girl turned, wrapping him tightly, resting her head on his chest. Warmth spread, chasing the chill away. He smiled, looked at her peaceful face, and whispered, truly like a bed-warming girl. Then he closed his eyes, drifting to sleep under the warm blanket. Chapter 192, Decision to Move. Early in the morning, noisy birds began their clamorous day. Lu Wai Mong and Lu Wai Thursday rose very early, preparing to move, so they cleared up what they could take. Sister, bring this too. Lu Wai Mong held up the bamboo chair she had made. No. Lu Wai Thursday refused firmly. Too heavy, we still need to carry dried mangoes and bamboo shoots. She shook her head resolutely. This time they did not know how long they would be gone, so unnecessary items could not be taken. Then I will burn it. Lu Waimong said reluctantly, unwilling to leave anything for the others. Burn it, and destroy this shelter when we leave. Lu Wai Thursday nodded, that was the safest choice. Beside them sat 2 bamboo baskets filled with dried mangoes and dried shoots. After hesitation, Lu Waimong threw the chair into the fire and the flames consumed it quickly. I will cook some breakfast, we need strength on the road. Lu Wai Thursday placed water in the iron pot and began to cook. I still remember the taste of the bamboo rat yesterday. Lu Waimong said innocently. Yesterday they had traded for bamboo rats and boiled them to eat at once, fearing the men would change their minds. The surprise was that Lai Hoa and Intran Chan Hoa did not appear. I hope the new place has meat. Lu Wai Thursday said gloomily, without the men the bamboo forest would have been a perfect hideout. Better if there is plenty of meat, enough to never finish. Lu Waimong dreamed. Lu Wai Thursday glared at her sister. Stop daydreaming, pack everything and keep the flint safe. I know. Lu Waimong pouted and put the flint into her jacket pocket. Let us go, there is nothing else to take. Lu Wai Thursday shouldered the basket and scanned the shelter. I will destroy this place first. Lu Waimong cut the ropes with her knife and the shelter collapsed into a messy heap. Lu Wai Thursday helped push down the bamboo fence. Ba. She lifted the basket with one hand and held the bough with the other. Taking advantage of the men not being there, they left the bamboo forest to start their journey. Do you remember where we saw the thick smoke? Lu Wai Thursday asked. Their target this time was the place where they had seen thick smoke, hoping to find resources. Walking a step behind, Lu Waimong secretly took a piece of dried mango from the basket and chewed it. Lu Wai Thursday turned and saw her sneaking food, narrowing her eyes. You are sneaking food again. I am helping to lighten your load. Lu Waimong replied seriously. No NGO. She pouted and followed, still chewing the mango. After more than an hour, they reached a mound at the forest edge. Both were panting, the heavy basket of dried mangoes slowing their pace. Sister, ahead is the mound, beyond it the hill. Lu Waimong peered through the trees at the wide grassland. Rest a while. Lu Wai Thursday sat against a tree to catch her breath. You must train more or you will grow weak. Lu Waimong teased gently. Lu Wai Thursday glared at her. I. Embarrassed, Lu Waimong set the basket down and walked nearby. Do not run about, watch for a pack of red wolves. Lu Wai Thursday warned, remembering the previous sighting. I will just look. Lu Waimong stepped out slowly to observe. No red wolves. She scanned the area, saw none, and breathed a sigh of relief. After watching a while she returned. Well, anything? Lu Wai Thursday asked. Only deer, no wolves, should we cross straight through? Lu Waimong asked with a sweeping gesture. No, too dangerous, what if a pack appears on the way? Lu Wai Thursday refused firmly. Then take a detour? Hearing wolves, Lu Waimong felt afraid and dropped the idea of going straight. We must go around. Lu Wai Thursday said reluctantly, choosing safety. They circled along the forest edge, alert in all directions. Luckily nothing happened, and after nearly 4 hours they reached the foot of the hill safely. Let us go, time is late, we must reach the summit before nightfall. Lu Wai Thursday looked up. The hill was not high but had no path, they would face rough terrain and unknown danger. Still carrying their baskets, they checked the grass for snakes as they walked. They set off, Lu Waimong using her knife to cut thorny bushes that blocked the way. Chapter 193, Too Bad. Van Han was cooking breakfast in their shelter, the iron pot steaming with venison and wild greens. She stirred slowly with a bamboo spoon. Her gaze pierced through the thorny gate toward the camp outside, whispering, Saphan should be back soon. This morning Saphan had gone into the forest to cut dry grass, as the third layer of the shelter required a lot. He seized the cool morning to cut some first. I am back. After a while, Saphan's voice came from outside, slightly breathless. Saphan, wash your hands quickly and eat breakfast. Van Han put down the spoon, stood up, hurried out to help remove the bundle from his back. He went to the water ditch, splashed water on his face, sighing softly, refreshing, so cool. You should not wash right after sweating, it can cause a cold. Van Han's beautiful eyes widened slightly, quickly handing him a towel. Got it. Saphan smiled faintly, wiped his face roughly, then followed the girl back inside. Van Han rested her chin and gently said, Eat more, regain some strength. You too. Saphan smiled, put a piece of venison into his mouth. Van Han nodded with a smile, took meat and ate happily. For her the happiest time was eating with him every day. After more than 20 minutes, they finished chatting and eating. The girl carried the pot and bowls to wash. Let's continue with the roof. Saphan stretched his body, walking to the new structure. He planned to finish covering the entire roof today, only then could he handle other tasks. He mixed the remaining clay with straw, stomping it firmly with his feet. Let me help. Van Han ran over with a white hat, rolled up her pants, and joined the mud stomping. After more than 20 minutes. Saphan, you go up, I will continue stomping here. Van Han waved, pressing her lips, stomping hard with her small feet. Okay. Saphan nodded, climbed the ladder onto the roof. Pull it up. Van Han shoveled clay into the bamboo basket. They cooperated smoothly, basket after basket being hauled up. The clay spread quickly. By early afternoon the second layer of the roof was done. Hoo-hoo! Saphan sighed, sweat covering his head, looking at the roof. The clay from yesterday had dried well. With such strong sunlight, the roof would dry completely today. All right. He murmured, there was no need to climb up again now, only when dry could the third straw layer be added. He climbed down slowly. The girl had prepared a bowl of mint water for him. Clop clop. Saphan took the ceramic bowl, drank in gulps, his throat moistened. After drinking, he felt much better, even tasted sweetness, asked, Did you add honey? Yes, to give you some sugar. Van Han laughed. Very good. Saphan whispered. Honey water helped recover from fatigue. Drinking some after labor was very beneficial. He went inside the new shelter, cooling himself while looking around. Ashes remained scattered on the ground, and some clay had fallen from the roof. The new shelter was spacious, sunlight came through the doorway and vents, not dim at all. He walked to the wall. There was a half-meter gap leading to the toilet. The toilet was quite large, about 1.5 meters long and wide. Later they would bathe and relieve there. He also planned to lead water by bamboo tubes, making bathing and cleaning more convenient. The toilet floor was unfinished, but the drainage channel was dug, extending to the forest, ready for pipes. Let's bury the pipes first. He thought, dragging the bamboo prepared last night. He cut slots at both ends, joined them together, carefully placed them in the trench. Then he wrapped them with clay, to prevent loosening when backfilling. Let's test the drainage. He murmured, poured half a jar of water at the channel entrance. The bamboo pipes were thick, nearly the size of his calf. Normally nothing could clog them. Still, to be safe, he wanted to test, to avoid waste blocking the pipe, that would be troublesome. He added leaves and charcoal pieces, then carried the jar into the toilet, pouring down the entrance. After setting the jar, he walked to the pipe's end. Sure enough, the ground was wet, with pieces of charcoal and leaves scattered. The drainage works well. Saphan smiled. He took the shovel, covered the trench with soil, stomping it down. Saphan, no rush, eat lunch first. Van Han's cheerful voice came. Splash. He splashed water on his face, then lowered his head under the bamboo stream, letting cold water wash through his hair, rinsing sweat and mud. Hearing the noise, Van Han came out, glaring. "Stop, Han, you will get sick like that." When the body is sweating, blood vessels dilate, circulation speeds up, suddenly washing with cold water makes pores and vessels contract, breaking the cooling process. The body cannot adapt, easily causing illness. Chapter 194, 2/3 completed. Quickly wipe the water, be careful not to get sick. Van Han scolded angrily, her delicate face full of concern. "All right." So Phong smiled softly, raising his hand to rub his short hair. They returned to the shelter. The girl took a towel to cover So Fong's head, her small hands carefully drying him. So Phong gave a bitter smile, letting her fuss, knowing she feared he would fall ill. "Drink some fish soup." Van Han put down the towel, scooping a bowl with a bamboo spoon. So Phong sat on a wooden chair, lifted the soup and took a sip, saying, "So fragrant." "There is still plenty." Van Han lifted her bowl, sipping as she spoke. In the iron pot she cooked 2 fish, adding lemon slices and wild herbs to remove the smell, making it taste excellent. "This afternoon we clean the shelter, then go out when it cools." So Phong said softly. The new shelter still lacked a toilet and wall stove. Next they only needed to install doors and windows, then they could stay. I wonder how cold winter will be," Van Han said with worry. "In a few days we go hunting, animal hides will keep us warm." So Phong already planned, preventing trouble was the right way. "Good, I will practice with the bow, I also want to hunt," Van Han said excitedly. "Then you must try hard, animals will not wait nearby for you to shoot." So Phong smiled teasingly. Van Han blushed and said innocently, "Surely there will be 1 or 2 silly ones standing close." "Ha ha ha, I hope some foolish beasts come to us." So Phong laughed. "I will hit the prey." Van Han rolled her eyes. In truth, if prey appeared, she still let So Phong strike, for a higher chance of success. After lunch they each took a branch broom, sweeping the ashes in the new shelter. Outside the sun was harsh, inside it was cooler. Swish swish swish. Branches scraped the floor, sweeping ashes out, revealing a gray clay surface. "I will fetch some water to wash." Van Han frowned, rubbing the wall and staining her hand with soot. She took the pot to fetch water, as the inner wall was too black, brushing against it dirted clothes. So Phong meanwhile rolled dry grass into oval bundles, tied tight as scrubbing tools, since they had no cloth. The girl soon returned with a full pot of water. "Here, use this to scrub." So Phong gave her a bundle. "Okay." Van Han dipped it in water, scrubbing the black wall. Swish swish swish. Wet grass scrubbed the wall, soot stuck onto leaves. "Still very clean." Van Han smiled, pulling off a thick layer of soot. "You scrub below, I will do above." So Phong took over the higher wall. "All right." Van Han answered, crouching to scrub the corner wall. This place was likely long-term, they treated it as home. They scrubbed more than an hour, cleaning walls and floor. "Looks much cleaner," Van Han said happily. "Once aired dry, tomorrow we move in." So Phong said, seeing she liked the place. "So Phong, should we build a thorn fence?" Van Han asked. She liked the old one, it felt safe. "Yes, a fence will be safer." So Phong planned to build a large fence around, forming a yard, unlike the cramped old shelter. The thorn fence was necessary, otherwise if a bear came, this place might not withstand. "Shall we move the old fence here?" Van Han's eyes brightened. So Phong froze, then shook his head. "Better leave it, we use the place to keep rabbits, safer that way." "Ah, I almost forgot the rabbits." Van Han stuck out her tongue playfully. "Come, the weather is cooler, let's cut dry grass." So Phong stepped out, the sun already leaning west. The shadow showed 4 o'clock, the clay roof was finished, the third layer of grass could cover. "All right." Van Han turned back, took her short knife and wide hat, then followed him. "All right." So Phong smiled, leading her to the rocky woods. After a while, so Phong carried a big bundle of dry grass, holding another under his arm. The girl followed, one hand pulling grass, the other holding a branch with flowers. He decided to finish roofing first, climbing the ladder barefoot onto
books.
the clay roof, still warm under the sun. Van Han, give me the grass, he called. All right. Van Han tied the grass with rope so he could pull it up. So Phong climbed slowly, spreading the grass evenly, stacking layers thick. After an hour the roof was covered. He took pine logs, tied them in pairs, laid across the roof peak, pressing the grass down against the wind. In this way, the new shelter was 2/3 complete. Chapter 195, Call for Help. A rustling sound echoed in the bushes. Lu Waimong and Lu Wai Thursday pushed away the vines blocking their path, slowly climbing to the highest hilltop before stopping at a pile of rocks. I am so tired, I cannot walk anymore. Lu Waimong, drenched in sweat, leaned against a big rock. Lu Wai Thursday gasped for breath, sat down beside her and said weakly, Rest, just rest a while. Her vision darkened, a sign of extreme exhaustion. Trekking through the forest drained their strength, even Lu Waimong struggled, let alone Lu Wai Thursday. They had climbed from the foot of the hill, taking more than half a day with many breaks, and their water was almost gone. She took off her straw shoes, lifted her feet, and saw 2 blisters on her soles, already rubbed raw. Then let us rest tonight, tomorrow we continue. Lu Wai Thursday, her face weary, reached for the bamboo tube in the basket, opened it, and drank a sip. Sister, I want some too. Lu Waimong stared at her, her water was already finished. Lu Waimong took the tube, wanted to gulp, but hesitated and only sipped lightly to moisten her throat. She looked at the sky darkening and asked helplessly, Sister, what should we do now? First, find a safe place for tonight. Lu Wai Thursday felt powerless, standing the unfamiliar surroundings. Over there, a big stone crevice. Lu Waimong tilted her head, pointing into the distance. Indeed, several large rocks leaned together, forming a natural crevice. Come, let us see. Lu Wai Thursday's eyes brightened, she stood up and walked forward with her basket. Lu Waimong hurriedly put on her shoes, carried her basket, and followed in pain. Minutes later, they stepped into the crevice. It had one entrance, just wide enough for 2 to lie side by side. We can stay here tonight. Lu Waimong agreed. Lu Wai Thursday set down her basket, held the military knife, and said, We must find some wood and grass before dark. A fire was needed, and grass to cover the cold ground. Okay. Lu Waimong carried her bow, following her sister. As she scanned the area, she suddenly saw smoke rising from the distant forest. Distracted, she stepped on loose stones, slipped, and fell. Ouch, it hurts. Lu Waimong winced. Lu Wai Thursday turned, alarmed, What happened? My ankle twisted. Lu Waimong sat up with one hand on the ground, the other clutching her left ankle, looking pitiful. Her ankle was red and painful at the slightest touch. How careless of you. Lu Wai Thursday squatted to support her sister. I just saw smoke over there and lost focus. Lu Waimong said sadly, pointing toward the forest. Smoke? Lu Wai Thursday looked and indeed saw smoke rising. It must be other contestants, should we check? Lu Waimong leaned on her. Tomorrow, your ankle like this cannot last. Lu Wai Thursday sighed, guiding her back. It looked close, but walking there might take half a day. I can endure, we must not miss this. Lu Waimong bit her lip stubbornly. We do not know if your tendons are hurt, if so, it is trouble. Lu Wai Thursday carefully removed her shoe to examine. It should be fine, no need to leave. Lu Waimong forced a calm face, slowly moving her ankle. Sister, go fetch wood, else tonight we suffer. Lu Waimong urged as night fell. Yes, sit still, I will gather firewood. Lu Wai Thursday reminded, then hurried into the forest with her knife. Be careful. Lu Waimong called out. I know. Luwai Thursday replied, soon finding many dry branches. Luwai Mong sat at the crevice, staring at the smoke and murmured, who could it be? Darkness fell. Luwai Thursday returned with a large bundle of wood and some grass. Thanks to Flint, the fire soon lit up, illuminating the area. Tonight we can only eat mangoes. Luwai Thursday sighed. It was too late to find vegetables, and water was scarce. Does your ankle still hurt? Luwai Thursday checked under firelight. Luwai Mong's long lashes trembled. She forced a smile. It no longer hurts. Do not pretend to be strong. Luwai Thursday touched her head, sighing, if we cannot continue, we will quit. I will find money for medicine. No, I will recover. I must win rank for money to heal mother. Luwai Mong lowered her head, chewing mango tastelessly. Understood. Luwai Thursday nodded softly, adding wood to the fire. She decided to check her sister's ankle tomorrow, or ask other challengers for help, otherwise they must leave. In the live room, comments poured in. Are they going to quit? For two young girls to endure this far is not easy. Chapter 196, Chrysanthemums no longer need to suffer. So beautiful. Luwai Mong leaned against the rock, raising her head to gaze at the night sky. From the hilltop the view widened, the starry heavens stretched endless. Luwai Thursday gripped her army knife, standing around, then turned to her sister. We are exhausted today, you should rest early, I will stand guard. No, I also want to stand guard. Luwai Mong shook her head to refuse. Your leg is injured, you must rest to recover quickly. Luwai Thursday spoke sternly. Luwai Mong pouted, firmly said, but you are also tired. Without rest tomorrow how can you hunt? She hurriedly decided before her sister could reply, you guard until midnight, then let me guard until dawn. No. Luwai Thursday was about to object. Remember to wake me up. Books. Luwai Mong closed her eyes halfway, pretending to sleep. Who? Luwai Thursday sighed helplessly, fine, sleep now. Aha. Yes. Luwai Mong yawned, fatigue pulling her into slumber. Roar! Suddenly, from the forest echoed beasts' cries, tearing the night silence. Sister, there are wild beasts. The cries swept away her drowsiness. Luwai Thursday put a finger to her lips, be quiet, we have fire, no need to fear. She watched the dark woods, tossed wood into the fire, making it flare brighter. Luwai Mong clutched her bow, whispering, do not come closer, never come here. Stop chanting, it only makes you nervous. Luwai Thursday muttered. Nah. Luwai Mong pouted, then stayed silent. Observers had long been watching the sisters. With fire, beasts will not approach, unless starving for days. Wang Lin analyzed. Too dangerous, but wilderness survival is like this, let us see if they endure. Hum inside, eyes fixed on the screen. Teacher Wang, can you tell what beast it is? Wu Qing Yu asked urgently. It sounds like red wolves. Wang Lin replied. Red wolves? If it is a pack, it is too dangerous. Wu Qing Yu worried for the sisters. Next it depends on their luck. Wang Lin shook his head. Elsewhere, so Phong and Van Han finished dinner. The girl was cleaning rotten leaves, plucking them off. The insect repellent is working. So Phong patted his leg, palm stained with mosquito blood. We lack materials to craft more, tomorrow I must search outside. He said helplessly. Seems we can only sleep in sleeping bags now. Van Han sighed. Keep fire burning, mosquitoes will not dare approach. So Phong urged. Yes. Van Han nodded, placing rotten leaves near the fire, continuing her work. Tomorrow we must move, the new shelter must be prepared first. So Phong thought, then drew a plan in the dirt. Soon he sketched a rectangular wooden door. He gathered logs, measured about 1 meters, chopped them equal. If only we had iron nails. So Phong sighed. He tied the logs with rope, lining them tight. The last log was a 2-meter pine, buried on one end, the other fixed to stone wall, with bamboo as pivot. He added 4 2-meter logs to secure top and bottom, preventing sway. Done. So Phong clapped hands. Then he fetched bamboo, split into strips, shaved thin like toothpicks. So Phong, what are you doing? Van Han asked. Paper making needs tools. He answered, splitting bamboo carefully. He wanted to prepare, since it needed many strips, not done in one day. Ah? You plan to make paper? Van Han widened eyes. This morning I soaked eucalyptus bark, it is for paper making. So Phong explained. He had placed bark in water to soften for later use. When did you learn paper making? Why did I not know? Van Han paused, surprised. I learned online, it is simple, you will see. So Phong smiled. Indeed, paper making was not hard, especially after he gained the experience pack. Once we have paper, will we no longer use wooden sticks or leaves in the latrine? Will chrysanthemums no longer need to suffer? Chapter 197, Preparing to Move to a New Home. Slowly opening his eyes, So Phong found red marks on his forehead and face, traces of mosquito bites from last night. He turned his head to the girl holding him, smiled gently, and carefully freed himself from her arms and legs before slipping out of the sleeping bag. After dressing, he stepped out of the shelter and ordered in his mind, "Mark." A simulated screen appeared, the number 26 glowed. Only 2 days left. He whispered and retracted the screen. Another exciting thing was the monthly reward package approaching. 973. The 7-day rewards had given many good items, so the monthly one should be even better. Stretching his back, he pushed through the thorn gate, scanned around, then went to the stream to wash his face with cold water, refreshing himself. So Phong, you are up early today. Van Han yawned, stepping out. The sun is about to dry your butt. He replied with a grin. I will make breakfast first. She rolled her eyes and went inside to fetch the pot. Install the window first. After washing, he felt energetic, ready to work. He carried a prepared window from the wooden hut to the new shelter. Mixing clay with water, he smeared it on the reserved wall frame. Looks fine. He nodded, set the window into place, the clay holding it firm. Pulling it, he found it loose, so he added bamboo wedges until solid. Next is the main door. He dug a hole at the stone arch, lifted the wooden door, planted it, set the bamboo hinge, and tied it with rope. Safe now. He tested it, light and steady. With no fence yet, the strong door was crucial. Van Han waved a bamboo spoon, So Phong, breakfast. Coming. He replied. This would be the last meal in the old shelter, as he planned to build the fireplace in the wall of the new home. He washed his hands, entered, but she frowned, handing chopsticks. Did you brush your teeth? Clatter, clatter. 5 minutes later, he returned, and she giggled, serving food. Breakfast was wild greens mixed with berries, cold meat skin, and venison stew with mushrooms. Rich food, both ate full, but he ate an extra bowl due to heavy work. After eating, he resumed. He moved flat stones into the new toilet to adjust it. The floor was half-baked clay, and against the wall was a large hole connected to the drain, the place for their needs. With no cement outdoors, it was the best possible. Van Han came. So Phong, let me help. Looks not bad, but I have a doubt. She examined, much better than the old wooden hut. What doubt? He asked. There is no door, will the smell spread into the shelter? She blushed. I overlooked that. He laughed awkwardly, had thought of the main door but forgot this. He crafted a small wooden door, sealed gaps with clay. Bang bang. After finishing, he clapped his hands, only the fireplace remained undone. I will move things first. Van Han eagerly went to fetch jars and bottles. He smiled at her, then followed to the wall with a reserved hole for the fireplace. Chapter 198, The Big and Flat Stone. Thinking of building a fireplace inside the wall at the shelter, so Phong knew that arranging the smoke path was crucial, so he planned to make a chimney outside the stone wall, aligned with the fireplace inside. The chimney played a vital role. When the fireplace burned wood, hot air would form, lighter air rising would carry the thick smoke out, while fresh cold air was drawn inside. Of course, the most important was to prevent carbon poisoning. He stood up, gathered stones of similar sizes and carried much clay, starting to build the chimney. It was simple, first making a stone base with clay, aligned with the reserved hole in the wall, then stacking the hollow shaft. Stones fixed with clay formed each layer, and with the wall for support, he could finish at once without fear of collapse. Later, when the fireplace burned wood, the heat would dry the clay, making the chimney firm, and after long burning, the clay would turn half ceramic. After half an hour, he climbed on a wooden table to finish the last part. Once done, the chimney rose nearly 2 meters, wider below and narrower above. Next is the fireplace in the wall. He stepped down, his fingernails still filled with clay. Inside, Van Han had moved all movable items, only a few heavy ones remained. The new home was full of joy, her face always bright with a smile. The shelter now felt like a house. Yes, the chimney is done. He smiled. Then help move the bed, after that I can arrange everything. She laughed, glancing at the items on the ground, eager to tidy them. Soon he carried the wooden bed, she held to help. Luckily this doorway is wide enough. He slowly pushed the bed through the stone arch, placing it in the corner. So Phong, make a small wooden rack, jars and pots on the ground take much space. She hugged a water jar, moving it to the wall. Pots, bamboo tubes and wooden buckets were scattered around. All right. He nodded, indeed the home lacked a rack. Good. She smiled, continuing to arrange. Now only the fireplace is left. He stepped to the wall hole, looked outside, seeing clay on the chimney still wet. Beneath it was a pit filled with rubble. He measured, spread clay, began stacking stones for the fireplace. He planned it 1/2 meter wide, 1 meter long, for cooking and heating in winter. Layer by layer of stone and clay built up, leaving a 30-centimeter arched opening below for feeding wood. After another half hour, 3 walls were built, 60 centimeters high. Only the top remained, the hardest, needing a round hole to hold the iron pot. He thought, went outside searching among rocks. So Phong, what are you looking for? Van Han asked curiously. She had arranged the furniture, pulled the wooden table to the center, their dining place. Looking for flat stones. He replied, flipping rocks. She joined, then shouted, look, this big flat one, can it work? He stepped closer, smiled, perfect, it concealed a top. They searched 20 minutes more, found several flat stones, the 2 largest 1/2 foot long. Together they carried them home. He used clay to mend the hole round, the same size as the pot bottom, so no smoke leaked. Then he shaped a clay disc, a lid for the hole when not cooking, keeping smoke out. He planned to fire it into half ceramic to use, later building a kiln for a stronger lid. Finished yet? She brought water. He drank. Yes, later we will test if it works. Looks fine, it should work. She examined the fireplace, asked, since when are you so skillful? I have always been, you just never noticed. He smiled proudly. She laughed, your skin got thicker too. Ha ha ha, come on, let's pick some mugwort leaves. He laughed heartily, ready to enter the forest for herbs to repel mosquitoes. Last night he barely slept, mosquitoes buzzed around his ears, waking him many times. Chapter 199, Learned from the Internet. On the forested hill, Lu Wai Thursday and Lu Wai Mong were slowly making their way down. Crack crack. Lu Wai Thursday held a military knife, cutting down vines and branches blocking the path to clear the way for her younger sister. Sister, I am so thirsty. Lu Wai Mong moved her dry lips, leaning on the cane her sister had made in the morning, stepping unsteadily behind. This morning, they had finished the last bit of water. Under the cruel sun their throats were already burning dry. Hold on, when we reach the foot of the mountain we may find a water source. Lu Wai Thursday replied helplessly, her own throat feeling like smoke. How much longer until we can reach the bottom? Lu Wai Mong whispered, one hand gripping the cane, hopping forward on her uninjured right leg. Her left leg was swollen and bruised, but the pain was lighter than yesterday, which relieved her. Clearly no tendon was hurt, with rest she would recover, and they could still stay on. It should be another 2 hours. Lu Wai Thursday chopped branches ahead, though the forest below could already be seen, the distance was still long. Besides, they had to clear the way, otherwise Lu Wai Mong could not keep up, the pace would slow further. At first Lu Wai Thursday wanted to carry her basket, but was refused, because holding 2 baskets would prevent clearing the path. Finally, half the mangoes were divided to reduce the weight. Lu Wai Mong nodded, carefully stepping on the damaged straw shoes. Shall we rest a while? Lu Wai Thursday turned to ask. All right. Lu Wai Thursday nodded, continuing forward to cut a path. After nearly 2 hours, they finally reached the base and rested in the forest. Lu Wai Mong picked up a mango, hesitated, then put it back. She was too thirsty, the fruit was too dry to eat. She glanced around and found something new, turning to say, Sister, look, those flowers are beautiful. Flowers? Lu Wai Thursday was examining the area, then followed her sister's finger. Before them was a patch of plants over 2 meters tall, leaves like banana but purple-tipped, covered with red blossoms. What is this? Lu Wai Thursday frowned, feeling it was familiar, then suddenly realized, it is the Indian canna. The flowers are lovely. Lu Wai Mong whispered. Crack! Lu Wai Thursday stepped over, cut a stalk of Indian canna and handed the blossom to her sister. Here, take it if you like. Lu Wai Mong laughed softly, taking the flower and sniffing the faint fragrance. Her sister cared more about research value than beauty. I will look around for water. Lu Wai Thursday said, uninterested in the flower. Let us go together, nothing edible here. Lu Wai Mong stood with her cane, placing the flower into the basket. Lu Wai Thursday supported her, the terrain easier to walk. They went another 15 minutes and found something new. Sister, are those wood ear mushrooms? Lu Wai Mong pointed to a rotten log covered with black fungus. Yes, wood ear mushrooms. Lu Wai Thursday's eyes lit up. Sister, people have been here, there are footprints. Lu Wai Mong exclaimed, spotting clear prints on the ground beside the rotten trunk. It seems the other contestants' camp is not far. Lu Wai Thursday said seriously. She looked carefully and found many footprints, and traces of mushrooms picked. Should we try to find where they are? Lu Wai Mong suggested. This way there is no sign of water. Lu Wai Mong sighed, struggling upright. Let us go east and see if anything appears. Lu Wai Thursday pointed, then helped her sister move on. After a few more minutes, they came to a ravine full of wild banana. Here are wild bananas. Lu Wai Thursday exclaimed happily. Lu Wai Mong cried out, Sister, I see bananas too. Come, down there, I know a way to find water. Lu Wai Thursday said excitedly, guiding her sister to the grove. What way? Lu Wai Mong asked doubtfully, since she saw no water. She knelt, cut down a banana stalk at the root. Boom! Then she cut another stalk. Good, after a while water will come. Lu Wai Thursday said calmly, this method she had learned online. Learned from the internet. Lu Wai Thursday repeated, splitting the trunk to dig out the white core to give her sister. Chapter 200, Sister, there is smoke over there. She dug out half of a banana core, then bit into it, pulling out white fibers from the cut. Can this be eaten? Lu Yiming asked, trusting her sister. She also took a bite, chewed a few times, and found the banana core refreshing, her throat moistened and body relieved. We are saved. Lu Yizhu sighed, chewing the core, temporarily easing the thirst. The two rested near the banana grove, and Lu Yizhu sometimes lifted leaves, seeing water seeping from the stem. Lu Yimeng loaned, "Sister, give me another piece of core." Crack! Lu Yizhu used the military knife, cut another trunk, took out the white core, split it, and gave half to her sister. After eating wild greens and mangoes for so long, finally we have a new taste. Lu Yimeng chewed contentedly, fibers hanging from her lips. Let us rest and later look for water, maybe this is a good place to hide. Lu Yizhu said. Yes. Lu Yimeng nodded, her mouth full of core. Nearly 2 hours later, Lu Yizhu removed leaves covering banana trunks, inside the holes half filled with water. Are you still thirsty? She asked, preparing bamboo to collect water. After eating the core, not thirsty anymore. Lu Yimeng waved. Seeing only one bamboo tube full, she sighed, Sister, cutting 2 trees for this little water is wasteful? In the wild without water, this is the only way, but banana trees will sprout and grow again in over a year. Lu Yizhu explained. Farmers also cut banana trees after harvest to let new shoots grow. So that is how it is. Lu Yimeng nodded. In the observation room, Min, Notin Noyet and others kept watching. Banana can give water, this is my first time knowing. Notin Noyet exclaimed. In the wild, if no water, this method can work. Phong Lam nodded, he already knew. Min frowned, they seem very familiar with that banana grove. Now that Teacher Ha reminded me, it feels familiar, like we saw it in a broadcast. Notin Noyet frowned, unable to recall exactly. With so many scenes, hard to remember all. Ah, I recall, that grove appeared in So Fong's broadcast. Notin Noyet realized. Then will they meet So Fong? Her eyes shone. Min grew curious, I wonder how it will be when the four meet. I guess So Fong will help them. Notin Noyet speculated. I think not, although he has much food, adding 2 more means not enough. Von Lam crossed his arms, humans are selfish, and with big prizes involved, helping is raising rivals. Notin Noyet frowned, objecting, not everyone is selfish. Not certain, So Fong and Yun Han have enough meat to last long, but adding 2 more is not enough. Von Lam said firmly. So Fong and Yun Han now live well, but with 2 more, it changes. He believed they would not accept the sisters, otherwise winter would be impossible, for mouths consume much more. The twin sisters surviving so far is already great, compared to many challengers. Moreover, both are not dependent types. Maybe eliminating more players is good, why not? Von Lam shrugged. Survival is not like living at home, reality is harsh. Lu Yimeng and Lu Yizhu climbed from a crevice. In less than 2 hours, night will fall. Lu Yizhu looked at the sky, light already dim. Let us hurry, best to find water before dark. Lu Yimeng carried the basket, walking with a stick. This way, follow the traces, we should find water. Lu Yizhu pulled her sister, pointing. It was a small path cleared by others, branches cut, meaning it led to another camp, maybe with water. Then, hurry. Lu Yimeng agreed, walking first. After more than an hour, the sun slowly set west, sky covered with dust. Sister, it grows dark, we still have no water, should we rest for the night? Lu Yimeng suggested. Keep moving, we cannot rest here. Lu Yizhu worried, darkness was too dangerous. They walked nearly 2 hours more, mostly slowed by Lu Yimeng's weak leg. Biting her lip, she suddenly saw smoke rising ahead. She cried, Sister, there is smoke over there.